In addition to good terrain, sunlight and expertise, a lot of resources are used in creating the conditions required to produce quality wines. Many businesses seek ways of reducing these resource inputs, and Spy Valley Wines, located in Marlborough, has been doing this with great success.
Water is always on our mind, and measures to decrease water use are always something we're thinking about. Power, likewise, prices are always getting higher. Bruce Walker, who's our winery operations manager, he's been really behind getting power efficiencies in and doing a great job. So he's been following solar like a hawk, and as the prices for the panels have decreased, it's actually become feasible. The biggest power usage in the winery, and in our building in particular, is refrigeration. The wine that's in these tanks, we keep it inside, keep it in insulated tanks. Before we got solar, we'd run refrigeration at night for the cheaper rates. Now, with our own power, it's the opposite. We run it in the day when it's sunny, when there's the most heat load, and so our refrigeration costs have plummeted. The power that we're using in a normal day, depending how busy it is, it can be as low as 10 kilowatts if there's not many people here, up to over 100 if we're in the middle of harvest, but typically it's somewhere around 40. So the solar panels are producing 50 kilowatts an hour. So for a reasonable proportion of the time, we'll export power back to the grid if it's a really sunny day. The bottling uses a fair chunk of power. We estimate it's around 20 kilowatts total, and then we add on to that the refrigeration. So it works out pretty well. It's quite a nice balance. Initially, we were told the payback was around 8 years. We're figuring it's probably closer to 6.5, 7 now. We're generating more power than we thought. Our constraint in putting the amount of panels in was our roofing material. In retrospect, we'd use different roofing material and we could put as much solar as we liked on. Water efficiency as a business, we sort of tackle on two fronts. There's the vineyard, which is by far the most important and biggest area for water efficiency, and then there's the winery. We do everything we can to minimise usage. We're using around 2 litres of water per litre of wine we produce, which is quite a low figure in terms of the industry. We monitor it. When we started monitoring, we found big discrepancies between our intake and our wastewater. We discovered we were using more water to keep the lawns green around the winery than we were in the winery. So we changed practices. We started to use a little bit of our wastewater to water the lawns. So we're cutting down on our lawn watering, which has actually made more of a difference than anything we do in the winery. A lot of that is simple common sense and not using large amounts of water to do things.
We were in the middle of January. It's been an extremely dry El Nino season, one of our lowest rainfall records in the last 85 years. So yeah, water conservation has been of our utmost priority this year. At this time of year, we're moving into bunch closure, which is where the berries start to close up and grow size. And then from here on in, we are looking to dry the soil moisture out to aid in the ripening and lessen the vigour of the canopy. We were very fortunate in the owners and the original viticulturalist, Pete Masters, planted drought-tolerant rootstocks and a large variety of varieties of grapes. So we went solely Sauvignon Blanc, so all the other varieties, Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, Pinot Gris, Riesling, Gewurz, all benefit from having lower water levels and less water. So therefore, the vineyard naturally requires less soil moisture. We also feel that those varieties are aided in their flavour development by having a little bit of water stress. We've got 7 bores on site which have A-class water rights. We're also members of the Southern Valley Irrigation Scheme, which is live pressure fed water on site, and we're also shareholders in the Lower Waihopai Irrigation Scheme and Lower Waihopai Dam Company. We've taken the motto during the establishment years of the vines of trying to restrict water to the vines to allow them to search deeper into the soil profile so that they have a larger root mass and have the ability to tolerate dry years on their own without us constantly topping them up with water. We use a consultancy service by Fruition Horticulture. They use neutron probes and they monitor 6 sites for us of different varieties, and we also have a live telemetric probe which gives me live data every 15 minutes. We've been going through a program of systematically replacing drip line with new technology, which is obviously a lot more efficient in delivering the water to the vines. We get a report at the end of the year from Fruition Horticulture, and on our light soils we used approximately a third of the average of their clients for the year, and on our medium soils we used approximately 50% of what the average for their clients for the year used in the 2014-2015 season. Yeah, we're pretty pleased with it. It sort of took us a wee bit by surprise, just going about our normal work, and we've achieved that good result.
A few years ago, we were trying to minimise our environmental impact. We want to be here for a long time. So we joined up with the ISO standards environmental accreditation, which is the ISO 14001. We found that to be a really good system. So we'd get around as a company, different areas, meet up, go through things we could do to improve our efficiencies, decrease our waste. We've implemented a large number of things. One of the best things about the ISO system is that it prompts you to keep finding further efficiencies. So we're finding it more and more difficult to come up with ideas, but it's great. It's a great system for us to keep using.
This program was made with funding from New Zealand On Air.